ever dreamed of quitting your job and living the life you've always wanted?
Treat life like an adventure. Get that spirit back you had when you were a kid.
Join me, Savannah Jane Buffett, as I meet Neil Christiansen, a surfer who left a successful career in San Diego to pursue his true passion, creating a school in the jungle-like region of Bogas Del Toro, Panama to educate local indigenous children.
I'd always known that living a normal life was not me.
Do your friends think you're crazy for living down here?
Yeah, my friends have always thought I'm crazy with everything I've done. It opens the door to new waves and new adventures.
Bogas Del Toro, Panama, to meet Neil Christiansen, who's originally from New Jersey but now lives as an expat down here in this jungle-like archipelago in the Caribbean Sea. Neil came here to surf its world-class waves, but his true passion lies in setting up a school for the indigenous children of Bocas. We're heading over to Neil's house to pick him up by boat because that's really the only way to get around in these parts. Neil!
Hello!
It's nice to finally meet you. All right, look at that.
There you go.
This is the only way to get around here?
Only way to get around, which is awesome because when we do preschool run, this is the school boat.
Because there is no school bus.
There is no school bus. There aren't any roads on these islands. Right now, this is where I stay, but we're gonna hop in and go around the bay and pick up the children for preschool.
This is the coolest school bus I've ever seen.
Uh-huh. Vámonos. My name's Neil Christiansen. I'm from New Jersey, and I started Give and Surf, a nonprofit organization. The mission of Give and Surf is to empower the community of Bahia Honda through educational and community development.
So obviously you have some help now. You have volunteers. You're no longer a one-man show.
As you can see, we have volunteers coming and going throughout the year. This is Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey. Nice to meet you.
I named the organization Give and Surf because when you go to these surf destinations like Bogas Del Toro, there's people living in what is seemingly a beautiful surf destination that need help and support. So why should you go surf in these places and not help out? The community that I work in is just a small indigenous community of Nobe Indians.
And every morning you pick the children up for school?
Yep.
Or?
Every morning we have preschool just because up until a year ago when we started the preschool, they are staying in their homes. The concept of their youngest children, 3 to 5-year-olds, going to school didn't even exist. So it's really introducing that educating children at a very young age, which we take for granted in the States, is important.
And before you came here, were you a teacher? Was that what you did? Or?
Oh no. I've always loved kids, but I was selling medical devices. I learned everything on the fly here. Spanish, teaching, the community, everything. Kelsey, if you could open up the school, get it ready.
So this is Omar?
Omar.
Hello.
Come on, How are you?
Good.
How are you?
Are we ready for school, kids? All right. This is the first time I've been to school in a while, Neil.
All right, here we are.
How is education based in, this community, in this country? Is it free?
It's a small charge per family, just for their uniforms and supplies and stuff like that.
Right.
And some families do have trouble paying such a minimal fee.
Just to even send their kids to basic
Exactly.
school.
Hola!
Hola!
Hello! Yantoro! So Yantoro is hello in their indigenous language, Nobere.
Yantoro!
Yantoro! Me personally, I don't have any background with education or teaching, but I've always had an affection for kids. No, dices, how are you?
How are you?
Más alto.
How are you? Very good!
Very good. Muy bien. Muy bien. I've witnessed so many changes within the children and how they're growing, how their personalities are developing. Y aquí? Dolphin. ¿Y qué color en inglés?
Blue.
Blue. So they really have personalities now. And it's nice to know that I think the organization has contributed to bringing that out in them. You know what? Let's check out the first project that I started, and we can talk about how it all started and why here. So we're headed to the first project that I started with my best friend Jack. He took some time off from work to come help me out, and then my girlfriend at the time.
Neil came up with a plan to go to Panama, and I was like, I have nothing else planned right now, and I think it sounds like a good opportunity to go try something new and see if we can do some good.
We decided to build a playground for a number of reasons. First and foremost, his kids love to play, and they didn't have an environment to play in for the community. So here we are.
This is awesome. Well, let's take a seat over here by the swings, and I want to hear more.
Yeah, I don't know how I ended up here, but
How did you end up here?
I grew up in New Jersey. I was a beach kid always, so that's obviously a reason why I always end up near the water. And I think shortly after graduating college, I was selling medical devices. I'd always known in the back of my mind that selling medical devices, living a normal life, was not me. But I was living in San Diego. I was living the most comfortable, perfect life.
And you're a surfer, so that's obviously a great place to live if you're
Exactly.
surfing.
I was very successful in San Diego, doing well for myself financially, but it left me unfulfilled. At the end of the day, I want to be passionate about what I do.
We were out in San Diego, and I was working on boats, and I'd come in, and I'd see him, and I could just tell if something wasn't right with him. He just wasn't happy. He didn't feel complete, I don't think. At the time, it seemed like he wanted something more.
Eventually, I just said, you know what, I need to do something different. That turned into me wanting to quit my job and travel, and it was with my girlfriend at the time. And then from there, we said, we want to travel and volunteer because we want to really experience cultures.
Right.
And at the time, because I wasn't happy with my job, I thought, if I'm going to travel and volunteer, and those are the things I'm passionate about, I should create my own nonprofit. So I started looking into my opportunities, and I obviously wanted to do it in a place that has surfing. So I said, you know what, I'm going to move to Panama.
He didn't phrase it as he was moving to Panama. Neil wanted to leave his job, and our reaction was, where will this lead? I did not believe that this would be a stopping point for him.
Kind of an astonishing thing if you think about it. Just this kid says, okay, I'm going to Panama. What? When he first told me about it, I said this, but come on, Neil, you gotta be kidding me. When you reflect back on what my life was like when I was 25 years old, I mean, the idea of pursuing your passion was not on my list of things to do. My list of things to do was to, go in the Army, get out of the Army, go to law school, raise a family, and the typical, traditional, pedestrian American dream.
I came down here convicted like no other. I just had a will and a desire to create something that was me. I've always loved showing people a good time. So I thought I could do a combination of that. Create programs for children, and then show interested volunteers, people that come here and visit me, a great time.
So speaking of a good time, it's been amazing seeing the program and what you've done here, but I'm kind of ready to go surfing. Can we do that?
It's not all work here, it's a lot of play. So yeah, of course we can hit the waves.
All right, I'm ready to see a good time.
So we're gonna hop off, jump in the water, swim over there. It's just us out, so. It's such a liberating feeling coming down here and being free of what was reality and being free and becoming my own person. And it opens the door to new waves and new adventures. Oh yeah! This is why people come here.
This is why. I can understand now.
Thanks for taking me for a
Yeah,
surf.
heck yes. It's always nice to get in the water.
And the surfing, I mean, that's a big part of your organization too, right? I mean, when volunteers come down, they can do what
Yeah,
you just took me to do.
It definitely is. A lot of volunteers will come down never had surfed before, and I'll introduce them to a passion of mine. And it's very nice to see once in a while a few volunteers will get hooked and will be on the same ride for the rest of their life, like I was from a young age. It's really what's brought me around the world, exposed me to different cultures and experiences.
So settling down is not something that's even in your
No,
brain at this
no.
point. But you did come down here with a girlfriend, you said. Like you built the playground with a girlfriend. That was the original plan?
That was, the original plan was we were supposed to both run the organization. But it's for the better that it's me down here and she's living a life she wants to live. Living in the jungle is not for everyone. There was a point in time we returned to San Diego and I had really put all this aside. I had committed to the relationship and said that's what's most important to me. I had more or less thrown the idea out after building the playground, after building relationships with the community, living here. So really leaving that all behind was unbearable. I tried to live back in normal society for 2 months, and then I more or less lost my mind and said that this was my dream, and I apologize for trying to make it a dream for the two of us. But I had to return, and she totally respected my decision. I mean, we had a great relationship, so it was difficult leaving that. All those memories, all those times spent together, but I had ended everything in the middle of its upswing. It was cut halfway through, and in such a critical time where things were developing and growing, and like I could see it in front of me, but it wasn't there yet, and I didn't have an end to the story.
How bad do you actually need to charge your cell phone right now?
I need to find new fundraising methods. It's really hard to develop the organization through finding donors, the people that can make an impact on the community or from the outside.